This is Gerardo Del Real with the Outsider Club. We're here outside of beautiful Beaver Creek at the Precious Metals Conference with the CEO of Kutcho Copper, Mr. Vince Sirachi. Vince, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Gerardo.
What do you think of the conference thus far?
It's great, great audience, big attendance. It's my first time here, and you got a lot of the right people in the right spot, so it's a great show.
You struck one of the better deals in the junior space in 2017, acquiring the Kucho high-grade copper project in British Columbia. Can you talk a bit about the deal, your partner, and where that stands today?
Sure. We were out, we were out looking for a good asset, a good acquisition for some time, and Kucho presented itself as an opportunity. We really liked it, not only for what it was and what it showed itself to be, but what it could be. A lot of value there to be unlocked, and so we pursued that, and we, in the financing the efforts through the acquisition, we landed a great partner in Wheaton Precious Metals. And we did, I guess in order of magnitude, just north of $100 million transaction with Wheaton, which encompassed a streaming arrangement, a convertible debt facility to help us acquire the project to the tune of $20 million. And Wheaton also put about $4 million in equity into the transaction to help.
And just for context, you mentioned that you did, it's approximately about $100 million when you put all of it together?
Correct.
What's your current market cap?
About 20 million bucks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Tell me a bit about the project. What's wrong with it?
Nothing wrong with the project. It's fantastic. It's I think we're in the right space, being a copper project. It's primarily copper with some zinc and precious metal credits. It's a VMS type project in northeastern BC, but it's a very, very robust. We've got copper equivalent grades right now of just under 3%. It's the type of grades that makes mines, and this I am very confident will be a mine. So we're doing the hard work right now, taking it from pre-feas into feasibility study, and there is a lot of work required to do that. So we've been working hard this year in the field. We've had the drill rigs turning, doing everything from metallurgical drilling to geotechnical drilling to resource expansion drilling, restarted our baseline environmental studies. So all that's happening to feed into the feasibility study that we should have complete in the next 7 to 8 months. And I think at that point, you will see the true value of Kucho come to light.
Now, we talked about the market cap being approximately 20 million. You already have some metrics on the Kucho project. Can you talk a bit about the current metrics that you're looking to update?
Yeah, I mean, this thing yielded some great economics, and again, as it sits, without us doing much more to it, we were sporting a $265 million pre-tax NPV with almost a 28% IRR against a $220 million build. So it's a robust project. Those numbers all come about using $2.75 copper as a price. So, there's, everyone's thinking that in the next couple of years, copper is going to be the metal that's going to be doing very, very well in these markets. And a lot of guys thinking, well, no, north of $3, which adds substantial value to Kucho. So it's, and this project, again, it's very robust in that, we've modeled this thing both ways. And, this thing still gets built at 230, 250 copper. Not many projects out there and will get built. Most projects will need north of $3 to get built. So Kucho is, again, robust. I think we're trading extremely cheap on a P to NAV basis right now. Our market cap is, as you said, 20 million bucks for something that, I'm pretty confident into the feasibility study, we'll even see improved economics to what they are today.
Your partner, Wheaton Precious Metals, recently wrote a check, or I should say, released a check, a first payment of sorts. You have another one that's upcoming. Can we talk a bit about that in the cash position?
We actually just got Wheaton's second payment too. So Wheaton promised to give us $7 million US, about 9.5 Canadian up front as part of that streaming arrangement, a prepayment if you will. And that money all went to help complete the feasibility study. So that was non-dilutive capital. That was stuff that and that's risk capital for them. If this doesn't work, they don't get that money back. So they really believe in this project. I mean, Wheaton Wheaton's a great company, and they've got a fantastic technical team, and they spend a lot of time doing due diligence on us. And they just don't do projects for the sake of doing projects. They truly believe Kucho is one of these projects that will get put into production, and where they make their money is on the stream. So that's what they see coming.
You mentioned due diligence. Community relations in BC are becoming a bigger and bigger focus for investors and speculators in the space. Can you talk a bit about the social license and how you approach that?
We've taken a very how do you say, interactive approach to it. I mean, first of all, I got to say that we're in a part of BC where mines get permitted, so we're lucky from that perspective. The two primary, or the two First Nations groups in our area are Casca and Tahltan, and they are both pro-mining First Nations groups. So as I said, a number of projects up there have been permitted, and we've gotten off to a fantastic start. I got to say I have personally strong relationships with leadership on both sides, Casca and Tahltan, and that's been ongoing for the last 6 months. We continue to strengthen those relationships. That'll be evidenced through agreements that have already been signed and agreements to be signed with them. So we're taking some unique approaches as well. We're going to be working very, very closely with our First Nation partners in technical committees and technical work groups that we're all going to be working on this together at the same time. So as we move towards submission to EA and permitting, everyone's informed, everyone knows what's going on, and there's not going to be a bunch of back and forth that typically happen, because it's just going to happen from today right through the process. So we're taking a unique and a very proactive approach, and our First Nations partners love the angles that we're taking and how it's going to happen here.
A big reason why I like Kucho is the team that you've been able to put together. Vince, can you tell us a bit about the team in place?
Sure. This team was specifically selected and tailor-made, if you will, for what Kucho has ahead for it. Kucho needs to get through and complete its feasibility study. It needs financing to get through its feasibility study. It needs a robust technical team to get through its feasibility study. So you can look at the makeup of the management, the board, and that's what these people are geared to do. From Bill Bennett, who was the ex-BC Mines Minister, who just resigned last year, part of our team. I mean, knows permitting through BC government. He was the guy that signature appeared on these projects. And from Sue Craig, who's got a long history of permitting projects in BC and the Yukon, fantastic woman and does a fantastic job, to Rob and Rory, my VPX and my COO, who have a robust and a lot of experience with respect to these types of deposits and operationally taking projects through feasibility study. And the combination of myself and a few others with respect to the capital markets, that's what this team's meant to do. We're not mine operators, and we don't pretend to be mine operators, and we're not going to be mine operators, but we think we can unlock this value in Kucho to the point where either someone comes in and builds it or we sell it.
What's the cash position look like?
Well, the cash position's strong today, but we're burning through it. We're working through it, so I think we're sitting around 6 million today. Excellent.
Share structure?
Share structure is fantastic. 55 million shares issued. We do have a bunch of warrants issued at $1, but still a very tight share structure. And I like trying to keep my share structures intact. I think when we get a better market and the commodity space, that will help and help the share price, realize better values.
You mentioned the bulk of those warrants were at $1. Share price today was 33 cents?
33 cents.
Okay. What do the next few months look like? What can people expect? We talked about the drilling, the feasibility study. What else can shareholders look forward to?
The next few months is going to be, it will be news heavy. We're just going through and wrapping up kind of we have now wrapped up the boring part of the drilling, if you will, the geotechnical, the metallurgical drilling. So now it's all about resource expansion drilling, and so this is the stuff that we're going to be assaying, putting results out on. So we started that, I guess, last week with some pretty splashy numbers and some fantastic intercepts, and that's what this type of deposit represents. It's got that potential for very, very high grade. So over the next couple of months, I think, like I said, you can expect to see continuous news around drill results and other potential elements that will add into the feasibility study in the new year.
Excellent. Vince, thank you for your time today. I appreciate it. Vince Arachi, Kutcho Copper.